But in August, CodePink disrupted Governor Tim Walz, who is running as Kamala Harris's vice presidential candidate for the Democrats, during the Democratic National Convention's Women's Caucus to declare that Gaza is a feminist issue. Can you speak about why this was important for CodePink to target, especially as I was trying to reference before that perhaps some people might be under the impression that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are an alternative to Biden. But perhaps can you give us some insights into the impact that the offensive in Gaza has on Palestinian women?
Yeah, that story is interesting because we did not know Tim Walz was going to be there at that event. I mean, we were going with that messaging anyway. It was just kind of good that he was there because I think it was his first time being confronted on the issue and so publicly. But it was at the Women's Caucus event for the Democratic National Convention. So, of course, we were like, we heard it was happening, and we're like, we have to go. We have to bring our messaging there because the Democrats weren't talking about Gaza in any sort of situation. So it just ended up that he was there. And I think he didn't acknowledge us, but he definitely heard us and he definitely needed to hear it. But back in the springtime, I think a statistic came out that 2 mothers in Gaza were being killed every hour. And the Democrats have been holding this issue of reproductive justice over voters' heads in the United States, saying, if you don't vote for us, you're going to lose your right to an abortion. We did already lose our right to an abortion at a federal level. It's not protected by the Supreme Court anymore, and they've done nothing to codify it. So, first of all, whatever, there's no truth to that promise either. But if they care about reproductive justice and if regular people care about reproductive justice, what is happening in Gaza is a gross undermining of Palestinian women's right to reproductive justice. Because it's not just about the right to an abortion. Reproductive justice is the right to have a child if you want one, the right to have health care, to take care of your children. Miscarriages were up, I think, 300%. This is an old statistic, too. Everything has gotten so much worse since these statistics came out, and it's just hard to keep track of all the new ones. And sometimes there's no way to even track this information anymore. Women were having C-sections without anesthesia. Women were giving birth with no access to painkillers or hospitals or medicine. People were getting infections. And right before the DNC, I think it was a few days before the DNC, Israel used a precision-guided missile on an apartment building in Gaza where they have like heat sensing technology. They know who is where, when. And it was a mother, her mother, and the woman's 2 newborn twin children. They were babies. They were born 4 days before they were murdered. Their dad was out getting their birth certificates when they were killed. And if we care about women and reproductive justice, we can't not care about Gaza. Working women in the United States have way more in common with the average Palestinian woman than we do with the American ruling class women. And if the American ruling class is willing to draw the line or willing to not stand up for women's rights in Gaza, they will exclude us at some point as well. So it's about solidarity. It's about, if we really care about women, we have to care about all women. And a huge portion of the casualties so far have been women and children. So if you care about women, you have to care about Gaza. That's just the facts.